I am very pro side hustle. If you're not content with how much you're making, where you are in life, I think side hustling is the best way to do that and get a second form of income. And I think everyone's doing it. And if you're not doing it, maybe you're like a little behind right now.
I'm Vivian Tu, AKA YourRichBFF and your favorite Wall Street girly.
I'm Brian Walsh, AKA Dr. Money, and I lead financial planning at SoFi.
And this is Richer Lives, the show that helps you learn how to use your money to live your best life.
We all want more dollar signs on our bank account.
But also more fulfillment, satisfaction, and success.
So we're here to bring you conversations with inspiring guests
who've been where you are and are now where you want to be.
And we'll provide guidance that aims to get you there step by step.
Because everyone deserves the opportunity to live richer lives. Hi again, it's me, Vivian Tu, your favorite former Wall Street girly. And you might already follow me on social as YourRichBFF. And if you don't, you should. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, the one, the only, Dr. Money.
Oh, thanks. Hi, everyone. I am Brian Walsh. I'm a PhD and Certified Financial Planner certificate. I also lead advice and planning strategy here at SoFi. Really, my job is to help people get their money right. And that's also what we're here to do today.
And if you're new here, all that's to say, we're here to help. We want you to be rich. There's plenty of wealth to go around.
You know what? That is so true. And honestly, I think some people get way too caught up in numbers or figures and all that sort of stuff. Don't get me wrong. Money is important and you need to pay for things. And balances are important. But it's more important to think about what it does for you. Like, what does it do for your satisfaction? What kind of freedom do you have? What can you stop worrying about? All those types of things are what we tend to focus on at SoFi.
And since we're also being transparent, I'm a non-client promoter of SoFi Wealth, and everybody you hear from today has been compensated by SoFi for their time. Our guest today is a connoisseur of corporate life. That's right, Corporate Natalie is here today. You might know her from TikTok, where she blends sharp humor with insightful, relatable commentary on corporate culture. We'll discover how working in corporate America ironically led to her unorthodox career as a content creator and business owner. Also, have a sip of your favorite free office beverage every time I say the word corporate in this episode. Welcome, Corporate Natalie.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
We're gonna have so much fun. So, before we get started on the episode, I always like to start with an icebreaker. Natalie, if you and I were driving down the road and you see an entire bag of cash, $1 million, you get to keep it, but you gotta spend it in 24 hours. What are we doing?
I love this. I love spending money. I'm really good at spending it, not great at saving, so probably shouldn't be on this podcast. But I think this is a boring answer, but it's a goal of mine. I would use it towards buying a house. And sadly, it would just be a small portion of what I would need to buy a house in the Bay Area. So I would combine some of my other funds with it and hopefully put an offer down and then get outbid and then start over.
Yes.
Yes.
We love it when that happens.
Which is boring, but I don't think I could spend it in 24 hours any other way.
No,
Do you think you could?
I mean, I feel like with $1 million, I'd call up Hermes, be like, so you got
what do you have?
4 croc skin Birks?
Yeah.
Can I get, a bunch of Birkins?
Totally. Great.
But,
See, that's more of a financial planner approved answer than that one.
I know.
Just throw it out there.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah, that's
okay. Well, that's okay.
She's winning so far.
I already bought a home.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not trying to compete, but I already have one.
Humble brag
I
over
don't
here.
need to. Yeah, I don't need another. Thank you.
Obviously, I'm a huge fan of SoFi's financial services, but pretend like I don't know anything. What makes SoFi different than other financial companies out there?
Okay, so I'll give you the TLDR. Most finance companies have one area that they focus on, and those other areas aren't that great. They don't want you to see all of your finances all in one spot. And you know what? SoFi is the exact opposite. We believe that you should have a one-stop shop where you can have all your products all in one place. So that way you know everything that's going on. So that way you're not like, oh man, when's my credit card due? Or like, uh-oh, am I saving enough for retirement? You can go to one place and know all that information.
Okay, what I'm hearing is that SoFi is a finance super app.
Okay, you took the words out of my mouth. Shorter, a little bit better, but yes, you can bank, borrow, and invest all in one spot. And on top of that, you can link any of your other accounts, like let's say the 401k or anything else that you have like there. So that way you can go in one place and you can understand where you stand.
I love it. If you're ready to see the future of finance, head over to SoFi.com/richerlives to sign up today.
Okay, so we'll kick things off here. The show is called Richer Lives. So what does rich mean to you? And I guess like more importantly, do you consider yourself rich right now?
I consider rich as being able to live a comfortable life without worrying about money and doing things and making buying decisions without really having a second thought. Like even something small as going to your friend's wedding and peak wedding season. Can you like get an Uber and not consider like, oh, I should maybe walk because like these small things that impact your day-to-day life, can you do those without a second thought? And I think I do consider myself rich in a lot of ways. I feel rich in happiness, rich in finances. I do feel rich.
You know, I love your content. We do a lot of stuff around corporate icks. In terms of money culture, what gives you the ick? What makes your skin crawl?
I think the idea that like women having money is unattractive in some way. I think we've talked about this a little.
That?
Who thinks that? Like,
who thinks that?
I think men have a little like issue with. No, not you at all. But I've seen it with, I don't know, maybe just people commenting on my content. It's largely men with the money stuff. You do strictly
100%.
finance-related content. And I think like it gives me the ick that when getting advice on like dating or something, people are like, oh, like someone will love you for you. It's like, you know, someone would be lucky to be with me. This isn't like, I shouldn't be hiding that side of myself.
Yeah.
And I think talking about money, just like answering the rich question is uncomfortable. It's like for women specifically, that gives me the ick.
Women honestly should be more confident about money. I mean, because stats show they're better investors. They make better decisions. They're better with spending. So I think it's a lot of like misnomers are out there that really shouldn't be out there and exist. So.
And Nat, we're talking about success. What was the first moment that you actually felt like you made it?
So I have one moment.
Was it meeting me?
It was meeting you at the
good.
Forbes 30 Under 30 event that, you know, distinctly stands out.
We had to drop that in there very quickly to mention that we were both on the Forbes 30 Under 30
list. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yeah, it's a small publication.
Accolade. I think there was this moment of not necessarily money related, but like as an influencer, which like I hate that word, but that I was invited to a Revolve party in LA where Justin Bieber and Drake were performing.
Oh, casual.
Back-to-back nights at this like intimate small event. And this is like pretty early in my Corporate Natalie career. I don't know how I got invited. I don't know who made a mistake along the way, but I was there and I like ended the weekend. It was Super Bowl weekend. And then SoFi invited me to the Super Bowl. This was a 3-day event. And I got home and I was just sobbing. I was like, I feel so thankful, so blessed, so just like, I cannot believe, and sort of an imposter syndrome of I cannot believe I'm here and that I was making TikToks in a dimly lit bedroom and I'm invited to this event with these people that I've revered my whole life. Like it was crazy to me. So that was sort of a moment of like, wow, I've made it, I think. And it wasn't even money related. It was more just like, I can't believe I'm in this group.
Yeah, we get to breathe the same air as Justin Bieber.
Like Jason Derulo walked by, I'm like, hang on, like I'm having a panic attack fully, but it was normal. I have to act cool.
So I guess thinking about the money side of things, I mean, a lot goes into finances when you're an entrepreneur and you have a lot of different decisions to make. How did you start learning about that? Or, you know, what taught you different lessons along the way to get your finances right as an entrepreneur?
I mean, I'm still learning about finance. And I think one thing that I've always done from the start of this Corporate Natalie journey is outsource this thing that's not a core competency of mine to the people who are able to do it. So I have a team of financial advisors. I have a bookkeeper. I have a team that does my taxes. And that's an important investment to me because I will be losing money if I'm not putting it in the hands of someone who knows what they're doing. So I think learning, it's always been a journey. I think my entrepreneurship career started really young. I've always been like a hustler. I've always started businesses from car washes in my parents' front yard, lemonade stands. I would sell friendship bracelets on a tray to my neighbors who didn't want them or need them. I would knock like twice, like I was really into it. And
you were the girl that could start the bracelet.
Totally.
Okay.
Totally. Yeah. Oh, big time. And I think just a lot of sales and doing that, started jewelry business in college and then starting this Corporate Natalie business. It's been, I've learned more along the way and how to become more professional in getting the finances in check.
What is the dumbest thing you've ever done with your money? I'm looking for a good story, Nat.
Oh my gosh. So I've never had like a ton of money in my life. So I'm not, when I started getting like these big checks from brand deals, I, of course, not considering taxes at all, thinking like, why would I consider that? I was spending like I was Jeff Bezos fully. Like I thought I was the richest person on earth. And I bought a table for my 25th birthday for all my friends for $3,000 and was like inviting strangers. Like I thought I was the coolest person on earth.
How much does the earth cost?
How much does the earth cost? I want to buy it. Yeah. So that was a moment where I woke up the next morning, hungover, of course, and was like, we need to reel it back. You know, that's that brand deal check. Actually, you're going to lose 50% of it straight off the bat.
Yep.
So you're not Jeff Bezos. Sorry.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I think that's an important question to answer, though, because a lot of people make, we'll call them dumb, maybe like unwise decisions with their money. They feel ashamed about it. They don't want to talk about it. They're intimidated by it. But we all make those decisions. We all learn from them, you figure it out, and kind of go from there. So
in New York City, let me tell you, the keeping up with the Joneses is tough. And you're like, well, obviously I don't want to wait in line.
No.
So that would be stupid. Let me just buy a table.
Let me buy a table and cut the line. Absolutely.
Yeah, let me buy a table. It wasn't even a real table.
No, it's like a half table.
Half a table.
And bring like 8 hot friends.
Yeah, and everybody's standing because there's not enough seats.
No, I love that. I mean, we got a table at least.
Yeah.
see, I'm just glad that like I know you guys now, so that way I can get invited to the table.
Yeah.
This is perfect.
We got you. We're at the table.
Best trip ever.
If you're here watching, it's because you want to get better at managing your money. Well, one way to get your money right is to switch to a better bank. SoFi is the award-winning all-in-one financial platform with benefits on benefits on benefits. When you set up a SoFi checking and savings, you'll become a SoFi member, which unlocks a highly competitive APY for any money kept in savings, plus no account fees, cashback rewards, and even up to $250 when you sign up for direct deposit. Discover better banking for yourself at SoFi.com/richerlives. We're back with Corporate Natalie exploring her rich life. And we've done a deep dive on you, but now we're going to go real deep into your banking statements. And today's topic is receipts. Show us your receipts, literally. I want to know, what is the last thing you bought on Amazon, and don't lie?
I bought those goos for like runners, those little like things that you take. I'm sorry, I'm so boring, but I bought like a 25 pack of
like a gel pack
of these gel packs. So I have like hundreds of gel packs. My race is in like a week.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna use any of them, and I'm never gonna run again.
And I know you're training for this half marathon.
I can't stop posting about it. I need everyone to know that I'm interesting. I run. I have hobbies.
I mean, did you run a half marathon if you don't post about it?
No, it doesn't even count.
Okay, yeah.
So like, why would
definitely
I?
not.
Yeah.
Also,
I'm like sponsored by Goo. No.
Also, I just want to let you know, the very first man who ran a marathon, he died.
Okay.
So that's not normal.
Okay, perfect. No, I agree. Thank you for that uplifting, fun. She's like, be fun. And now okay. Well, he passed, so good. Running's not fun, but I just need to prove to myself that.
Honestly, I'm really impressed because I hate running.
Yeah, I hate it.
It's the worst.
But like I need a fun fact on Zoom calls, so.
Okay, so on the topic of receipts, what's the craziest thing you ever expensed, wrote off your taxes? Like, don't want to get in trouble, but like, craziest thing.
I think it's just been crazy for me to learn about like the write-off process as a creator, because you are the business, so things you're doing in a business setting or a content creation setting can count towards write-offs. I think the surprising thing to me, which I didn't initially consider a business expense, I took my mom on a trip and I was just filming a ton of content there, and my tax person's like, oh, is this like part of this is a write-off? Just so you know, I'm like, great. That's awesome. So I guess a portion of a vacation, what I would consider a vacation, that became a write-off because it was actually, I was working. And sorry to my tax accountant if you're looking, and I wasn't supposed to say that. No, kidding, take that off.
So looking forward and kind of ahead, we talked about how you got to this place where you're at right now. What's an ambition of yours kind of looking out into the future?
So in terms of content creation, I don't know if we've talked about this, but sort of how is there a way to monetize without my name and likeness and face in the content? The goal would be to get to a place where I can step back from the content creation and be more of like an advisor role, a writer, kind of creative director, stuff like that.
In our line of work, I always say it's like playing football. Like you get 5 good professional years and then what? Like we have to be smart with our money now because there's no guarantee that we get to work for 40 years like a doctor, an accountant, a lawyer, like a traditional job would.
And I always say this, and like a question for you as the sort of financial experts is, what is, when you get these big checks and they will go away eventually, and my financial planners will say like, what do you expect? Where do you expect to be in 5 years? I have no idea where I expect to be in 5 years. It could all go away. My Instagram gets hacked, literally, I have no idea. And so how do you save and project out? And like if you got, let's say like a $10,000 check from a brand deal, where would you put that money or parse that out?
Yeah, so it's interesting because it would be the same answer as if I was talking to someone who had a, I guess, traditional job, where lifestyle creep is probably the biggest risk to someone's financial future. It's really about what you do with that additional income, whether you save it and how much you save of it. Because if you're spending all that, your lifestyle gets more expensive, you can really kind of never get to the end of the journey. So it's saving as much of that additional income as possible and then kind of working backwards and saying, okay, when do I want to be financially free? And then building the plan and calculating out the numbers. So,
and since you do live in California, go ahead and just cut that number in half, put half of it into your SoFi high yield savings account and set that money aside for taxes, because the tax man always wants his cut.
Absolutely. And then let's take the $10,000 check, for example. So half of that taxes.
Yep.
What would you do with the remaining 5?
Yeah, I think, so typically what we do is we go through a checklist. Like, do you have enough cash for unexpected expenses? Like, normally for an entrepreneur, 6 to 12 months worth of expenses in cash. If you're good there, then you move on, you start focusing on, okay, do I have any high interest debt? Anything over 7%? Then if you're good there, then we focus on investing it for the long term. And you see like, okay, when am I gonna use this money? And work backwards to figure out how that should be invested. Because so many people get caught up in like, oh, am I picking the right stock or time the market and all this other stuff. They overcomplicate the hell out of investing. And it really is just thinking about when you're gonna need it, and you kind of invest it based on that in a boring, kind of low fee, diversified way.
Nat, you mentioned on another podcast that you used to feel really comfortable spending that Corporate Natalie money because you had a full-time job that was really gonna pay for your expenses and your living otherwise. Now that Corporate Natalie is your full-time gig, how has that changed your perspective on spending that money?
I've definitely gotten more intentional about how I spend my money. So I actually get paid a salary by my S Corp, by my company.
Yep.
And so I try to view it as that. And then I think I set goals, and anything above that is like, okay, I have a little more money to spend. I do think I'm a little more like the allure of it as this like big like side hustle thing that I was doing has diminished for sure. A little more serious now. I'd be interested what you think of this, but my Corporate Natalie career started as a side hustle. Is that as well for you? I am very pro side hustle. If you're not content with how much you're making, where you are in life, and it feels like there's no option in your traditional career path to like really make that jump currently. I think side hustling is the best way to do that and get a second form of income. And I think everyone's doing it. And if you're not doing it, maybe you're like a little behind right now. I don't know. I think everyone should be monetizing in every way possible. If you're working remotely, you have extra time, like try to just hustle and make more money. I don't know. Hustle culture has a bad rep right now, but I think it's important.
I think right now, in particular, knowing where we are in an economic climate, like when more people who are making 6 figures are living paycheck to paycheck, it is really smart to potentially get a side hustle for a temporary period of time, just to make sure that you have that extra cushion, that you have that 6 to 12 month emergency fund, like you mentioned. That said, I don't think you need to necessarily monetize every single hobby and like suck the joy
out of every passion.
Out of every single passion. You're like, hey, I like knitting. Like you don't need to start an Etsy store.
No, like
you just like knitting. It's like cool.
I agree.
But I definitely agree. I think it's cool to have a side hustle now. Back in the day, it was like, oh, you only had a side hustle if like you couldn't make ends meet at your first job. I think nowadays it's cool to have a side hustle, to have something that you're passionate about and working towards.
Totally.
So another thing that typically comes up working with entrepreneurs is really the extra challenges, quite frankly, that come with saving for retirement. Because it's like when you're on your own, you're an entrepreneur. It's not like you have your company's 401k and everything like that, which is how most people save. I guess, how do you save for retirement?
Definitely. So when you're at a company and they're kind of telling you, like, you have this platform where you invest in your 401k and you're given options and matching and programs, like you don't have that as an entrepreneur. It's just like, it's at your own will. What do you want to do?
Running your own business and being the person that has to, at the end of the day, make the final decision is a lot more pressure than opting into your company-sponsored retirement program. But as a business owner, we also have a lot more options, whether that be a solo 401k, whether that be a self-employed IRA, whether that be, I think you probably have a similar setup as I do, a defined benefit plan where you're backing into your own retirement for yourself, where you're contributing and the company that we own is contributing, and just being really mindful of how to do that given each different company structure. But I think there are endless opportunities, and to Natalie's point, it's great to get a professional opinion when you are making these decisions that could cost you a lot of money or get you a lot of money and allow you to earn a lot over time and be really prepared for retirement.
Yeah, it is interesting because to your point, there's so many options.
Yeah.
I mean, and a lot of it depends on how much, number one, how much you want to save. And number two, like, is this going to be consistent, repeatable? Do you want to be like stuck to that? Those end up being probably two of the biggest decisions that we talk through with people.
Yeah.
And then, how your business is set up.
Yeah, I'm trying to retire next year.
That's
so
what I said.
We have to work
I also
very
want to
quickly.
retire in 2 days. So like, how do I save for that?
How quickly can we do this?
Yeah.
That's aggressive. So 30 under 30 and retired by 30.
Retired under 30
Is
as
that
well.
a separate
It's a new list that
Wow.
we're actually starting.
Okay,
Retired
cool.
under 30 would be
Retired
a
under 30.
dream.
Totally.
Man, I missed
Truly
the
a dream.
boat. I'm way past that.
And then every single night, once after we're retired, we're going to go to the club.
We're going to throw,
buy a
and
table.
we're
then
gonna throw a
table, okay.
retirement party.
Yes.
At Doheny Room.
Here, I'll
Yeah.
still be working.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, we'll be there. So.
We're talking all about retirement, what we dream of, what we're fantasizing of for the future. What is your advice for living a richer life?
Building your personal brand, like try out social media. And it's not for everyone, of course. When you're first starting, and this is a quick way to find out if you should be someone posting on social media, it should be easy. You should have a ton to say. It should be fun. You should be like wanting to post every day, writing. I remember I would have lists of ideas in my notes page. I was so excited to film. But there is such a quick win way if you want to build a following and you're able to say something and grow a following of people that want to hear what you say. That is the most powerful thing right now. So while you can rip on content creators, influencers, if you build that following, you will be very happy.
I also think building your personal brand doesn't necessarily even have to be on social media.
Totally.
Like, well, this is social media, but it's a little different. I would say like really being a thought leader in your space, whether that be posting about it on LinkedIn or networking with people that are in your industry and like building out that personal brand of like people know your name and know what you do and know what you can bring to the table is really helpful in your overall career, whether or not you are on social media, whether or not you work in this industry. And if you're able to really build that brand, what I love so much is it really just supercharges your network. And that means you can be in two places at once because there are people who are going to be mentioning your name in rooms that you can't get into.
Make yourself indispensable.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like, I think what we do is it's niche. It's like, and we have very different brands, yet similar. We're both on this podcast, but it's like, if you're offering something that no one else does, that's...
Nat, I know you used to work in consulting to help companies avoid exact points of failure for someone to have all the passwords or all the keys or whatever. But I think it's important to actually try and make yourself that.
Totally.
Because when you can't be replaced, you've won.
Natalie, it is so great to meet you, and thank you for coming today.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to do more of these episodes with you, Brian, because every single person's journey to financial success is so individual and so personalized.
It really is. And that's why it's so important to get personalized advice based on your unique situation and goals.
Money doesn't buy happiness, but it does buy a lot of things that help to get you there.
Yep.
And for some people, that feels impossible, like it's a privilege, but it is achievable. Not necessarily, I have infinity money and I don't ever need to work ever again, but money is a tool to help me live the life I want, and it's not a huge stressor.
And I think that's what's interesting. For some people, it's having enough to leave the job that they hate. Other people, it's like, hey, I want to retire, be done working. And then for some people, it's like, okay, I need to pay off that credit card so I can stop living life being worried nonstop about that debt hanging over my head.
And as a financial planner, you do this, you help people?
Yeah, I'm actually a little bit more than a financial planner.
Ooh, okay, talk that talk. Tell me.
Okay, I'll give it to you. So I'm a CFP certificate. I'm also a registered representative with SoFi Securities LLC and an investment advisor representative with SoFi Wealth LLC. Really I lead the planning team. And at SoFi, our financial planners are fiduciaries, which means that they're obligated to put our clients' best interest ahead of their own. Now, it's kind of weird I have to say that, but I do bring it up because not all financial professionals work that way. And that's actually something I learned the hard way. So looking back, first couple years of my career, I worked on commission. So it's kind of that balancing act, like, okay, do I do the right thing for the client?
Or do you do the right thing for you?
Yeah, 110%. And like living with that kind of conflict of interest nonstop, it weighed on me. I decided to change jobs. And I haven't looked back ever since. And thankfully, that's not how we do it at SoFi.
Yeah, I love that.
The best part is SoFi members get access to credentialed financial planners at no additional cost.
So, if you're ready to get personalized financial advice like you've heard here, sign up for SoFi and make an appointment with a financial planner. You can sign up today at SoFi.com/no-cost financial planning or go into your SoFi app and make an appointment through the member benefits section. Huge thanks to Corporate Natalie for the insightful discussion. And if you liked our chat with Nat, good news, there are more amazing guests to come on future episodes of Richer Lives. Let us know in the comments who you'd want to see us interview about their money. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to get notified of future episodes.
You can also find SoFi on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and of course, on your phone.
See you later.
Hi again, it's me, Brian Walsh, aka Dr. Money, here to talk about some of the legal stuff. Though I am a certified financial planner certificate, your finances are unique. That means anything I talked about today shouldn't be considered advice. Think about it more as high-level education or guidance. Also, please subscribe to our channel.
Hi again, it's me, Vivian, your rich BFF and favorite Wall Street girly.
Hi guys, I'm Corporate Natalie. I talk about corporate stuff and I'm really funny.
Why doesn't anyone want to impersonate me?